Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy. Today I am incredibly excited to share with you the latest piece in my H&K collection, and that is this 9PS. A very futuristic gun from the past, gun designed in the 60s, sold in the 70s and 80s, and long out of production, but still a very cool gun that has a great reputation and kind of a cult following like all the H&K, the older H&K models. So again, this has been on my long list for a while. I'm incredibly excited to get my hands on one, and I want to share it with you to do kind of a close-up and a walk around of this awesome, over-engineered, overbuilt, imagine that, German firearm from the past. I'll actually post a link to James Williamson's video in the description below, because he does a quick targeted opportunity video, maybe 12 minutes long, that does a great job with the history of this firearm. So I can't hold a candle to his videos, but I do want to show you what I know about this gun. And it is a very cool gun. This is a roller delayed blowback, double action, single action, hammer fired gun. You may think I'm crazy because you don't see a hammer, but I'll get to that, I promise. So H&K, they didn't have a 9mm gun in the 60s. Their P4, I believe, was a smaller caliber, or had smaller caliber options. So they had to design a 9mm gun, and they had success with the MP5 program, which was a version of the G3 with a roller delay blowback system. So they needed something that would handle the higher pressure, more powerful cartridge like 9mm. So they took the roller delay system for the MP5, shrunk it down, and stuck it in here. And again, we will take a look at that when I take the gun apart. But this gun was designed in the mid to late 60s, I think 65 to 69, but it wasn't produced until 1972, and it went until 1984. This version, according to H&K's date code, is a 1980 version. So mid to late production cycle of this firearm. Again, 9mm double action, single action. So I'll just kind of talk about the overall gun. It's about a 4-inch barrel. It's about the size of a VP9 today. I'm sure it's a little heavier. I haven't weighed them out yet. I will tell you first things first, as a left-hander, this gun is not really made for me. It's got this awesome grip. Again, this grip was designed 50 years ago. And on this side, there's nothing, of course, very flat, but it has great texture. No other details over here for left-handers. But when you circle around to the right, you've got this groove, and your thumb fits right in that groove. This thing fits in the palm of your hand, and your thumb goes in that groove, and you have easy access to this multi-function lever. Again, this thing performs 800 different functions. Not really, but it performs a lot. So a very comfortable gun. I think the grip angle, the grip this thing has, plus the sights we'll look at, and this fixed barrel with a roller delay system makes this, I've read, one of the more accurate handguns ever made. So again, can't wait to get to the range and spend time with it. But awesome grips with obviously the big important red letters on there. But very much made for right-handers only. I do not believe a left-hander version was ever made. As any good German gun from the 60s, 70s, or 80s, it has a Huell magazine release. And this is a single stack, 9mm, that holds 9 rounds. And you see some finger grooves there as well. This thing does just feel great in your hand. Very futuristic looking trigger design here with this extension out here and then a backward curve as you go up to the front. And you have, again, you see this in all guns now, but you have this texturing on front of the trigger. As I've read about it, I believe that a preferred method, or a method being taught at the time, was a method where you wrap your finger around the front of the firearm. So this does feel very nice that your finger will fit there perfectly. So again, a very well engineered piece of machinery here that fits right around there, and it feels like a hard polymer. So again, this is about a 4-inch barrel, about the size of a VP9. The slide is very clean. You do have rear cocking serrations, nothing up front. There's the barrel. Take a look at the barrel in a second. Very interesting design there. Obviously, this is before pick rails, and you can see all the stats on the side with the model P9S, Heckler Koch. And made in Germany, Obendorf, of course. And then you have a safety. And this is it's the slide mounted safety that is up for fire, down for safe. So different battery of arms than some firearms that you're used to. The other cool thing that really blew me away on this firearm were the sights. This gun was designed over 50 years ago. And the sight picture on this, these are almost suppressor height sights, and they are really easy to see. You may think they look almost comical, but that is a fantastic sight picture. And again, this is over 50 years old. This model is not 50 years old, but the design of it is over 50 years old. Really easy to acquire. Again, just fantastic sights on this old pistol. So I think that is very cool. Now, looking at this multifunction lever I've talked about, I promise you there's a hammer in here, and the way to tell the hammer is back, a couple ways. You can rack the slide, and you have this indicator at the back, almost like a striker indicator, but it's not a striker indicator. This just is an indicator that the hammer is cocked. Now from this point, you can pull the trigger, and you see the hammer fires, and you're back in double action mode. You can get double action, single action. Double action pulls the hammer back and releases. Or you could cock it like I showed you racking the slide. However, you can also cock it with this multifunction lever. Simply pull down on the lever like this, and you can see it's cocked again. So, and now you're back in single action. So very cool feature there of this trigger. So this thing also serves as a decocker. If the firearm is cocked, you can then, and safety officers are going to really panic when I do this, but to decock it now, you put the weapon on safe, you pull the decocker down and pull the trigger, and you release them, and it does not fire. So very interesting design. It would not work in today's standards where you don't want to touch the trigger for a decocking exercise, but very interesting engineering from H&K. So this lever works as a decocker, a cocker, and also a slide catch. You can also see the cool texture there on this lever. It makes it very easy to actuate. But you pull the slide back, you can actually push up on the lever and watch it lock in there and hold the slide back. So slide lock, slide catch, slide lock, decocker and cocker. Very cool function of this lever here. Now, another cool feature is, let me decock this. It's the easiest gun I've ever seen to take down in my life. It is incredibly easy to take down. You simply push that button there and the top comes off. So I'll push this button, top comes right off. And inside here, and believe it or not, this is also a fixed barrel gun. And again, you may say I'm crazy because the barrel's not fixed. I'll show you about that in just a second. Because when it locks onto the frame, it is a fixed barrel. And again, you can see up front. This is the buffer tube system. So I was hesitant about buying this gun because the weak point of these guns is a polymer buffer tube that's in here, and this goes bad over time. Just it ages, it gets brittle with cleaning solvent. Everything gets in there and makes it just destruct after a while, and you can damage your gun badly if this is not taken care of. I was hesitant to buy the gun because I could not see inside there, and the guy that I was buying from produced a letter that he had just had this gun serviced by the H&K guy, which is James at Tuflon Tactical, Tuflon Tactical. Sorry, James, I can't say it properly. But again, James is the H&K guy, and if he's worked on it in December of this past year, about 4 months ago, then I feel good about the gun. He noted all the work he did on it, but the buffer tube was in good working order, so that gave me confidence to buy this gun. But again, you can see all the details in here. There is the release. When I push this up, you can see that's what releases the slide. Details in here, and there's the hammer I talked about earlier. Again, close up of this functionality again. You can cock the hammer like this, and you have the indicator back here, and the gun is cocked. You can then decock it by pulling down and depressing this and letting go. So that's a very cool feature of this gun. Again, not many guns designed like that. I think it makes it very unique. Now, here's where the magic is. Inside here, look at this massive system in here. And there is, believe it or not, a roller delay blowback system in there. But I'll take the barrel out first. You can see as it pulls out like this. Got a big recoil spring, and then here is this beautiful barrel. I can get a view of that on here now. So the one thing I saw wrong with this was a little bit of surface rust on there. But in general, a very cool barrel. And again, I mentioned this was a fixed barrel. I hope I can do this on camera. I've tried it a couple times off camera, but when it is locked on the frame, it sits just like that. So again, the barrel does not tilt. It is a fixed barrel when this is mounted on there. and this is your recoil spring that just causes the action to cycle back and forth. So you have a roller delay system we'll look at in a second, and a fixed barrel design, and those awesome sights. This is legendary for being a very accurate gun, and that's one of the reasons why. Very cool feature. Now, I'll need that barrel to go one step further now, because inside here, is the roller delay system. You can see here, this is where the little rollers on each side are attached to the firing pin there. You can actually, there's a small pin inside here, it's gonna be hard to see, but you can press that down and the roller pops right off. And here you can see the rollers. There's one roller on this side and one roller on that side. So, and those lock into these grooves here and cause a delay when you fire it to keep the gun pointed at the target. And here you can see a close-up of the firing pin. So that is just a quick look inside and out of this awesome H&K P9S. I'm not going to try to reassemble it on camera because that's probably going to be embarrassing, and I don't want you to laugh at me, but because I appreciate you tuning in, and please stay tuned for more videos about this gun, first shots and comparisons and so forth. As always, thank you so much for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy. Appreciate you.